Introduce Bill.
Let's bring
I see
Bill
him.
in.
Here he is. Oh, there he is.
Hey, everybody, how's it going?
Bill, long time, man. Good to see you.
Thanks. Good to be here under strange but interesting circumstances.
Yeah, well, we might as well do it this way and instead of missing out. Do you see El Diablo there?
I do.
There's
That's
El
our
Diablo.
mysterious El Diablo.
El Diablo pops up every now and then.
And what is El Diablo doing?
We don't know.
Terror.
All right.
So
All right.
how's quarantine treating you, Bill? What have you been up to?
It's actually been okay. I am here in Los Angeles. I'm hunkered down. I've got plenty of toilet paper, so that's good.
That's what happened to all the toilet paper.
It's all at Bill's
Moseley
house.
has it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't really, actually, it's not really good toilet paper. It's like single ply. So it's kind of like having a tissue. It's really not I like a good hardy, not quite a sandpaper, but, a good hardy.
Prison toilet paper.
Yeah, prison toilet paper. That's right.
Well, it's better than a water hose and I guess.
A water hose.
Well, actually, no, that's a little more effective. And actually, I was in Japan in at the end of November, first couple weeks of December of last year, doing a movie with Nick Cage called "Prisoners of the Ghostland," which will come out sometime, I guess, toward the end of the year. It's directed by a great Japanese director named Sion Sono.
Okay.
Who did some really cool Tag and Cold Fish, hair extensions, really Tokyo Tribe, Tokyo Suicides, really some cool stuff. And this is his first English language movie. It's kind of a mashup between ninjas and cowboys. And anyway, the point is that they have bidets over there. So, instead of toilet paper, they have these little, very comfortable, warm jets. Speaking of a hose to clean your ass, but otherwise, I go out, I wear my mask and gloves and keep 6 feet and do all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. It's trying to get used to it, but it hasn't really been that. It hasn't been that difficult.
Yeah. I mean, if you go out and you just, obey the rules, seems like there's a lot of people that don't want to obey the rules. So, but, wear a mask and wear your gloves if you feel like it. And when you get home, wash your hands, damn it.
Okay, yeah.
Apparently we have to teach people how to wash their hands. Apparently that's a thing. So.
Well, I thought that was pretty interesting that it's, there's the 20-second suggestion that you should wash your hands while singing Happy Birthday to You.
Twice.
And that apparently is 20 seconds. Oh, twice, is it?
You have to sing it twice.
Jeez. I just sing it slowly. So
you have to demonstrate that for us later, Lord.
Yeah, my wife, I always try to watch it the full 20 seconds. And my wife is always like, you take too long. And I'm like, I'm just following the rules, honey. Just following the rules.
And do you sing actually out loud? Do you sing Happy Birthday twice while you do it?
No, I usually just count. I just go 1,000, 2, 1,000.
I think he sings. He doesn't want to tell us.
Yeah, well, that's Charles's job to sing on the live stream. So what else is going on?
I don't have 20 seconds only because I put it under the sink and the hot water gets really hot in about 10 seconds. So I got to say I'm kind of skimping just to save my hands from being burned. So. Anyway, but I'll maybe figure it out. I'm sure we have a little more time left to figure these things out before everything returns to normal. But I'm actually interested, Lloyd, in your plan, your vision. I mean, I'm interested in general, just how things like conventions are going to reimagine themselves so that it's a fun experience for everybody involved and safe, et cetera.
To me, it's all about you just have to wait and see how things are going to go. I mean, if it's not going to be safe, there's no sense in doing it, so you just hope for the best and expect the worst. But yeah, I mean, it definitely, if we go back into it and we're looking at a 25% reduction capacity, then I don't see how that works. I mean, it just kind of kills the event. Everything that makes it fun is gone now. So, I think you just have to hang in there and hope for the best,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's really all you can do. I mean, luckily it's not just one convention that's having this problem. It's worldwide. It's conventions and concerts, and I think everybody is trying to figure out, how do you do it if it's not safe? How do you do it if it's not safe?
Yeah.
I got to leave that up to the doctors and scientists.
Yes, thank you.
This isn't up to me. It's up to the virus, and then I have to just follow the recommendations of the professionals. That's all I can do.
And even the 6-foot rule makes it difficult, because I can't see doing a convention if there's a mandatory 6 foot away from everybody. It's
Well, especially if you've got, somebody like Robert Englund with a, line of 1,000 people, you're going to end up, probably it's going to end up going across the street into the airport.
Yeah, out on the tarmac. I mean, no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to have zombies on the tarmac.
Right.
you have to throw pictures at them, like, can you catch it?
Yeah, right.
Well, it's the same with your line. Whenever you come to a show, your line is always crazy and it never stops. So, I mean, how do you see doing it? I mean, because you get interactive with people, you shake hands, and you get personal.
Yep.
I mean, in the age of coronavirus, how do you do that?
Yeah, not quite Biden personal, but whoa. But anyway, I.
Sorry, I gotta have
all right. Anyway, I kind of see that it's going to make it can make photo ops and selfies kind of tough. It's going to make the lines, like, for instance, I use my phone for people to sign when they want to do some kind of a square sale or something. So that's out. No, put your arm around their shoulder and take a picture kind of stuff. So, I mean, I just see it as a lot more antiseptic, and kind of it'll certainly remove a lot of the personal touches, so to speak. But I still think it's going to be fun. I think the bottom line is what a lot of the fans take from the experience is that they end up with a signed 8x10 or a figure or whatever they've brought to have signed. And I think that's going to be the redeeming feature, is that no matter how whatever way you get it, you can take a picture of your celebrity signing something. That'll be a part of it. It just won't have that, that same personal touch. But I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's a deal breaker by any stretch.
Yeah. So we don't have to put you in a plexiglass box with where you put your hands through the gloves and
he's got gloves that he's signing.
Sign for everybody.
Well, I would like that anyway, but that sounds just because it sounds cool.
He's got a mask on the whole time.
Nice. I like
Bill?
That. Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll start working on that plexiglass box for you.
Yeah, or just like a kind of a Scotch guard, just spray, have the celebrities strip and then walk through this stream of Scotch guard. And then,
like
then it won't really matter.
Do we do that with Silkwood? Remember Silkwood when they threw her in the shower and they scrubbed her down? Do we do that with you two afterwards?
Well, volunteers doing that with the brushes, they'll just be cleaning you off.
But I get to pick the volunteers.
We could add that in as something that people pay for, the Bill Moseley scrub down experience.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there you go. That's a new one. Yeah.
It's an extra meet and greet experience there.
Oh, man. So tell us, what do you got? Anything else besides the movie that you were talking about? Anything?
Yes, actually, I also, I did, I've fortunately, the first 3 months of this year, I had a couple more jobs. One of which I can talk about, one I can't. But that was exciting. So right now, I have a manager who's, continuing to, try to work future jobs out. And, that's the problem, I'm sure, with most actors and a lot of other professions, is that there really is this uncertainty. How do you Are you going to get on a plane? Where are you going to stay? When you're actually in production, what kind of rules are going to apply in terms of 6 feet? How does that work? Actually, I was reading something funny. It was like, what happens to the sex scene, with the 6 foot, social distancing. So, just a lot of, questions that remain to be answered in the, film and television industry. I actually, I'm doing okay. I have my wife and we are here with our 21-year-old daughter. I also have an older daughter who has her own place and is doing fine. But, I feel for my 21-year-old because she just graduated from college. She just finally got got all her credits, enough credits to graduate. So she has, in fact, graduated, but there'll be no graduation ceremony.
Yeah.
She has her gown from her high school graduation. And so we tried to throw her a little party. But, when you're quarantined with your parents, that's
Not as cool.
It's not as fun.
Not for a 21-year-old. And so, we've been trying to make the best of that. I did actually get a puzzle from Amazon. It took about 2 months, but it finally got here. Because when we first heard about the quarantine, it was about like, well, let's get a puzzle. I don't know. So I got a 1,000-piece puzzle, and it hasn't been opened. I also got a Scrabble set, and nobody wants to play Scrabble. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But
so you're on your own.
I guess I'm on my own.
We should come back on and do a live stream Scrabble. We'll play Scrabble with Bill.
That would be great, actually. Thank you. I'm looking for somebody to play because I do like Scrabble, but nobody else does.
You just kind of made me sad, though. You made me think of you as like the Griswold father, that's got all these fun things planned, and none of the kids want to.
Nobody wants to do it with him. I've been doing puzzles though too at home. I would join in a puzzle with you, but that's kind of hard to do virtually. We can't really do a puzzle virtually.
Well, they are actually taking off tomorrow for 2 weeks. They're driving to my wife's family has a place in New Mexico. So they're going there. They're leaving me here in Los Angeles to take care of the sick cat.
Oh, does your cat have the coronavirus?
No, apparently not. But he's got some kind of a problem with his ear. So it's about sticking things in and putting droplets in his ear.
Oh yeah.
And he doesn't like that. So I'm looking around for some leather gloves and long sleeve, maybe probably a sweater, a sweatshirt, because I know I'm going to get scratched a lot. And I think that's why they're leaving me here. They said, "Look, you got to take care of the cat.
Yeah,
no one else can." Because I'm the only one here.
You're in the true exotic mode now. Sounds like
exactly.
Taking care of the cats.
I know. I need a whip and a chair and a 45.
That would be a great photo to see.
Well, you do know who got that cat sick, right?
No.
Carol fucking back.
Oh, Carol. Yeah. I am grateful though that my older daughter got me Apple TV for my birthday last year, because I have been watching. I'm going to probably try to make a list of it, but I have watched probably at least 25 movies in the last 25 days.
Oh, nice.
And I've been catching up on a lot of the horror movies that everybody has seen, and it feels like I've seen them, but I really never have. Like I had never seen. It's not a horror movie, but I'd never seen Harold and Maude.
Oh,
and everybody loves Harold and Maude, and I love Harold and Maude just because everybody else does. And then I realized, I've never seen Harold and Maude, so I watched that. Now I've got Cat Stevens music stuck in my head. Speaking of cats, and but I watched some cool stuff. I had never watched. I watched again. I watched Bubba Hotep, which is so much fun, and I really recommend everybody to watch that.
And it's set in East Texas too, which is
perfect. Yeah. I thought, Bubba Hotep is really one of my faves.
I lived in East Texas for a while, and I can tell you that it is just like that in East Texas.
Were you Bubba Hotep?
No, I wasn't Bubba Hotep, but I know all of those people, all of those East Texas people. They're just like that.
I thought it was great. I'm sorry to hear that, Lloyd. But I love that movie.
I lived in Tyler, Texas when there was
Tyler.
in Tyler when there was nothing in
Right.
Tyler. We had like a mall and 2 theaters, and they called it the wettest dry city in all of East Texas because it was dry. You couldn't buy anything liquor at, beer, wine, nothing. But there was a bar and a strip club on every corner at the time. I don't know how it is like now, but that's the way it was when I lived there.
Nice.
It reminds me of Utah, where it's all like private supper clubs or something. That's how you
Yep.
get around it being a dry state. Wow.
You had to have a
Was
car.
Tyler, where was the last picture show? Was that Tyler, or where was that?
No, that was West Texas, wasn't it?
Oh,
that
yeah.
was out in Marfa or
Marfa,
something.
I think it was in Marfa, Texas.
Oh, Marfa.
Yeah,
Right.
which is like a weird artist hippie town.
Cadillac Ranch is out there, right? Or
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah,
it's called.
Cadillac Ranch, yeah.
Yeah.
That's Marfa. I've never been out to West Texas, so I just know what I've read. Texas is a big state. It takes a few hours to get from where I am in the Dallas area to West Texas. It's a
Wow.
long ways out.
Yeah, you can drive 8 hours and not leave Texas if you head down from here. It's a crazy state.
Yeah, my younger brother used to live in Pasadena,
Really?
Texas.
Nice.
Yeah.
You've told me so many. We did a podcast years ago. I don't know if you remember that, but that's when podcasts were kind of a big deal. And you told me about the Toast Barn. You remember
Yeah.
that?
Oh yeah, sure. But that was Dundee, Illinois. That was the Fin and Feather at Dundee, Illinois. The old Max McGraw Wildlife Foundation.
Yeah.
And it was founded by the guy who owned a company called Sunbeam, which makes all the Sunbeam toasters.
Yeah.
And back in the day before there was scientific feed, Max had this game farm where he raised ducks and pheasants, and a lot of them got then sent out to the fields for hunting in the fall.
Right.
But before there was scientific feed, Max had an old red barn on the property, and every toaster was tested with a piece of toast. And so when the toast would pop up, they'd take it and they'd throw it in a bag, and they'd drive it out to the toast barn in Dundee, Illinois, and they stacked it up. And over the years, there was literally tons of toast, and the feed changed so that there was scientific feed, so they stopped using the toast, and it just kind of sat there in this huge pile in a barn. And the barn got old, and the roof got holes in it, and the rain came down, the snow, and and it kind of mildewed the toast, and then the toast hardened into a rock, and you could actually walk on the toast and not go through it. And my boss was a guy named Mort Fadum, a long-haired guy back in the 60s. And Mort, God bless him, took me to see Jimi Hendrix in 1968. Gave me my first pot. Took me and my friend Sandy into the Oriental Theater in Chicago to see Jimi Hendrix and the Soft Machine when Jimmy was touring Are You Experienced? Life-changing event. But anyway, Mort had a custom Harley, and he'd park it. The barn was on a hill, and below the main floor of the barn was a milk room. And Mort would park his Harley, his custom Harley, in the milk room down below, and he would work on it. Kind of, that's what he'd do in his spare time. Well, it turns out that one day he came to work, and some of his saddlebags had been gnawed by rats in the milk room, and so Mort was pissed. So he brought along a little rat terrier and a baseball bat and a couple of garbage bags, and he went into the milk room to take on the rats that chewed his saddlebags. Well, it turns out that the milk room, as the original barn plan is, it's solid concrete walls, and then I guess Max McGraw had added some fake wood walls, very thin, but they're recessed about a couple of feet away from the original walls. So there was a space in between this, these fake wooden walls, and in the corner of the milk room was a big haystack. And Mort told us he opened the door opened in. He walked into the place. He put the rat terrier down between the the fake wall and the stone wall. And the rat terrier scampered away and went around the corner. And Mort said he heard the rat terrier engaging. He heard some barks and some squeaks, and something was going on there. And he said as he watched, all of a sudden the haystack in the back of the milk room started to rise. And Mort, much to his surprise, and then all of a sudden this gray wall of rats poured out of the haystack. And there was such a surge that it knocked Mort back, and Mort hit the door and it closed behind him. And Mort was apparently just swinging this baseball bat for his dear life. The dog was barking somewhere hidden in the walls. The rats were all over the place. He was beaten away with his baseball bat. He managed to pull the door open. Somehow he got the little dog out and shut the door behind him, and gave it a little while to calm down. When he went back in, he said he ended up with 2 garbage bags full of dead rats. And the little dog was bit, but okay. And as it turns out, because of the hardening of the toast barn, and there is a point to this story, that the rats over the years had made tunnels in the toast, in the hardened toast. And apparently there were, literally thousands, tens of thousands, millions, I don't know, but rats all throughout the toast mountain and the toast barn above. And that's what had started pouring down on Mort. I'm almost sad to say that, years later they came in and knocked down the barn, and the toast barn is no more, but live on in our hearts and minds.
When you first told me that story, I'm listening, and I thought you were just making everything up, because it's such a wild story. But you tell it with such, I don't know, it just pulls you in, and it feels like a movie. Someone needs to make a movie.
That needs to be a movie. Bill Moseley presents The Toast Barn.
The Toast Barn. Well,
starring Bill Moseley.
Yeah, let's see. I guess I would play the long hair that swings the baseball bat as I'm getting bitten by rats. I've had some worse parts, let me tell you.
Well, it'd be great.
It's so funny when I get when I get a script. I mean, the first thing I see is is it union? Is there a budget? And then I kind of look at what happens to my character. And, if it's a low budget film and my character, there are scenes where I get, let's say, burned alive and then dragged behind, by my ankle behind a pickup truck on a gravel road. I'm always interested in just what kind of budget they have for the stunt people.
Nobody's going to set you on fire.
It's like that's when they come to you and they say, look, Bill, it would really help. It would make a really great shot if actually you got dragged behind the truck, by your ankle on the gravel road. And I go, well, I don't really want to, take away the stuntman's job. I mean, that would just be unfair. I'm thinking, no way, man.
Well, Bill, thank you so much for coming on today. It's
my pleasure.
A long time. I haven't seen you in forever, so we can't wait to see you in September. Is there anything else you want to tell everybody before we part?
Just good luck and stay safe. I mean, that's about it. And I look forward to seeing you guys. I miss you, and just keep washing your hands.
Wash your hands.
Happy birthday twice. That's right.
Exactly.
Here's to Bill. Thank you.
All right, guys. All right. We'll see you later.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.